Why is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network coming after your small business LLC? That's right. If you have a small business with an entity around it, such as an LLC or an S Corp, and you're considered a reporting company, more on that in a second, you are now required to report beneficial ownership information to FinCEN, which is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network division of the U.S. Treasury. This is a mass data collection program targeted at small business, as big businesses are, of course, exempt. If you have more than 20 employees or $5 million in revenue, that's considered a larger operating company. Now, there are severe penalties for non-compliance, and this includes not only money, but potential jail time if you don't comply. So you want to pay attention. So let me go through some of the frequently asked questions. The first is that this is not something you can blame either the current or past president for. This is squarely on Congress. It was passed as the CTA BOI rule, and it was vetoed by President Trump at the time. Congress overturned the veto, and while there's some discussions about trying to delay it or overturn it again, right now we need more voices on this. Now, who has to file? If you look at the FinCEN website, they basically say, if you are not exempt and you have a reporting entity, you have to file. Quote, domestic reporting companies are corporations, limited liability companies, and any other entities created by the filing of a document with a Secretary of State or any similar office in the U.S. So filing that document with your Secretary of State or a similar office is what is going to trigger you having to file. A lot of people have been asking then, well, I have a sole proprietorship. Do I need to file? Their current guidance on their website says, quote, no, unless a sole proprietorship was created in the United States by filing a document with a Secretary of State or similar office. An entity is a reporting company only if it was created in the United States by filing such a document. If you file a document with a government agency to get an IRS employer ID number, a fictitious business name, or professional or occupational license, that does not create a new entity and therefore does not make your sole proprietorship have to file a document as a reporting company. So that's the distinction there. So how long do you have to file a report? Well, if you were a small business that was characterized as one of these reporting companies and you were not exempt before January 1st of this year, you have until January 1st of next year, 2025, to file. That's personally why I am waiting. However, if you create a new business, you have a shorter time period. I've been alerted that this has been changed and extended recently. It used to be 30 days, but now you have 90 days to file. This is all a moving target and very disorganized, so you want to stay on top of it. But if you have a new entity as of January 1st of 2024, 90 days is the period. Now, what information are they collecting? Well, a ton of information on beneficial owners, including things like photo IDs, from my understanding. You're going to want to go to the FinCEN website to see what is a beneficial owner and what they're asking for. It's part of their FAQ sheet. Now, this is very important. This is not one and done. You have to update your information. My understanding is that anytime your information changes that you've given to them, you have to alert them. Otherwise, you are subject to penalties and fines. This could include a name change, a change in the ID that you've submitted, if you move. So you really do need to keep this top of mind. Now, you might say, well, why are they doing it? It's a total joke. They say they're doing this to crack down on money laundering and financial crimes because, of course, major cartels and money launderers are going to give their government their information on beneficial owners, right? And, of course, they're probably so big that they're exempted anyway. So this really is targeted at small businesses. And by the way, they have lots of tools to deal with financial crimes, such as suspicious activity reports from banks. So putting law-abiding citizens in a database is unconstitutional, and they shouldn't be doing this. Speaking of which, some of you said, well, I heard a federal district court said this was unconstitutional. And that is the case. There was a recent Alabama court ruling saying that it was unconstitutional. However, FinCEN is saying, no, this only applies to the plaintiffs, which is the first we've ever heard of this. So even though that federal district court said unconstitutional, they're still making you do this. So what can you do? Right now, we need you to email, to call, to write your representative and tell them they must stand for small businesses. They need to overturn and eliminate this Corporate Transparency Act beneficial ownership information rule and just say it unconstitutionally targets small businesses and they should not stand for that. I'm Carol Roth. I have done billions of dollars in deals. I share information that makes you think, makes you laugh, and hopefully makes you some money. You can connect with me at carolroth.com/news.